A very pleasant good afternoon as we welcome you back into a Thursday edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here from Quaker Steak and Lube. And today's show will be abbreviated. We will go till 3 o'clock this afternoon instead of our normal 4 o'clock end time. That is due to our coverage of PIAA AAA State Championship softball today. It'll be the quarterfinals with Bald Eagle area taking on St. Mary's from Du Bois. Todd and Norm Brown will have the call for you right here at 3 o'clock this afternoon on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox. And we'll be back. Well, actually, the Dear Goon will be back next Tuesday.
Yep.
I am helping out. Actually, it's a really neat event. I have a friend who's involved, very active, FFA, Future Farmers of America, and they're doing an event next Tuesday, and it's taking up the entire afternoon, noon to 5, but they asked me if I'd be interested in being involved, and I'm excited about the opportunity. So it's the basic gist of it is they're trying to get these ready for job interviews and trying to prepare them for the interactions. And so they're actually doing it in some different phases, which I think is just really brilliant on the part of the folks running the program, which is, and the one I'm going to be involved in, it's not going to be the formal interview process. It's how do you network? If you're at an event and you run into somebody at a company that you want to work for, or in a field that you're interested in, how do you interact? Not be pushy, but hey, that might be something I'm interested in, and things to say. So there's judging involved in all of these different components. They also do that's the only part I'm involved in. They do obviously resumes and references, and there's different things involved, but it's all again in preparing for actual real life interactions, and it's just a neat concept. So I'll be involved with that next Tuesday afternoon. And we'll give a little heads up on the programming front. We'll have a 2-week hiatus here at the end of June and the start of July. We're both out of town that last week of June, and then the July 4th week we tend to take off and just reset anyway. And you'll be out of town, and I do have a couple of things that are on the agenda. So we're going to just go ahead and take a 2-week hiatus, and then we'll be back raring to go and gearing up for football season come that second week of July. Of course, it'll be Arts Festival weekend already, and the summer, as it always does, will fly by here in Happy Valley. Lots to get into today. Did watch a little bit of the Panthers-Oilers game last night, game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. That is, for those that are watching, that is why, to me, the Stanley Cup playoffs are the greatest theater in sports. It is edge of your seat action, and obviously, if you're an Edmonton fan or a Florida fan, I don't think there's 5 Florida fans.
Yep.
Kidding. You really are in the edge of your seat, but it is compelling hockey. It is a compelling sport, and it goes to overtime. Edmonton gets the win in OT. Yes, and they end up taking game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Of course, best of 7 series. Game 2 back in Edmonton tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. But it's just it is a great sport, and there's just nothing quite like the drama to me of Stanley Cup playoff hockey.
I'm just looking up there, and they're previewing the NBA Finals tonight. And they just say the guy's name who has the ability to win the MVP, a title, and conference. I don't know, something else. I don't know who the guy is.
Yeah,
I don't even
and
remember the
in
guy's
fairness,
name.
I mean, there maybe a lot of people do. I
don't even. I mean, I didn't even recognize the guy's name, and I'm like, man, I'm in tune to the world of sports, obviously, but my God, I'm that far removed from the NBA. Now, but the NHL. So the big thing is, this is the 6th straight year that the Cup is being competed for in the state of Florida.
Yeah, which
what's
is
going on there?
Bonkers. Yeah,
And
it's
then
absolutely
you know the
nuts.
Canadian thing, right?
Oh yeah,
they haven't won a title since 1993. The country of Canada.
Yep.
Montreal. I remember.
Yeah,
that. I
they're
remember those
talking
teams,
a little bit
man.
about that on Patrick's show. I think Dan is right. People are making it sound like, Canada's just going to be rejoicing if Edmonton wins. No, Edmonton will be rejoicing. Toronto doesn't give a rat's behind whether it's Florida or Edmonton.
Too happy.
They're not going to be sitting there celebrating because the got the cup back. That's not quite the way it works. But it will be fascinating to see if all of the games are like last night's. They're going to be in for quite the series here.
I wanted to. I was trying to get into it, but I watched the Phillies. I had a baseball team I could watch. So tough loss.
Yeah, my team won last night.
I know, and then I get into the wife and I are Jeopardy junkies. So in an evening they had the Masters Championships.
Yeah,
the regular show, and then they had Celebrity on later in the night. I mean, they could have been like all over the channel. But I watched them all night, and I was like, it's just funny. I tell Carrie, I said, I don't even want to watch the Masters Jeopardy. I can't because it's like I'm like a defenseless kitten. I'm like, I don't. These people are killing. They're so.
It is
smart.
Amazing.
They are so smart, and it's like how fast they ring the button, and it just appears to them. And I do pretty well. My wife does very, very well in regular Jeopardy. We both kill Celebrity Jeopardy. But that Masters, dude, I'm telling you, holy crap, it's hard as hell.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that was just tying into that with the how smart some people are, how knowledgeable some people are. State College High School, I celebrated its 47 seniors who are going to be going on and playing competitively varsity college athletics, which is a pretty
47.
You compete.
Wow.
Athletically,
impressive.
yes, in college.
I have a question.
And
is that a record for them? Do they have like those statistics or whatever? Like it has to be a banner year.
It is, although I'm pretty sure, and I won't swear to it. I think so. This is the 3rd or 4th year. So they celebrate these athletes by, and it's a really neat event. The coolest thing to me, they make these placards that they give the kids, and to me, it's just a really cool memento to have from your high school career. So they have the pep band there. They bring the athletes in. Again, I think this is the 3rd or 4th year. I want to say it's the 4th year, but it might just be the 3rd that I've emceed this. I'm not sure how long. I don't. If they did this when I was in school, I was really just not. No, I didn't sign up to. I did not get any scholarships, so I wasn't going anywhere to play competitively, and this was just for those student athletes. But the two things that stand out. So I think we had 47 either last year or 2 years ago.
Wow.
As well, which I thought was astounding. And I'm like, I don't think we'll see that type of number again. But 47 stands out. Like, I think it's the exact same number as that they had, which to me is just beyond impressive, because I think their graduating classes are still in the 550 neighborhood.
550?
Yep.
Holy God.
And so, but when you start talking about the percentage, I mean, 47 kids going on to play to varsity sports. Obviously, there's going to be others that maybe will walk on somewhere, others that maybe will, compete in club sports or what have you. But anyways,
what I like about that is it's usually for like the high Division I guys who have that type of affair.
Yep.
But I love the fact that they're celebrating the kids going to your Sinus, Bloomsburg, Kutztown,
yes,
Lock Haven. You know what I mean? I you gotta like that. It's
for sure.
Celebrating all the athletes and stuff like that. Hey, because there's nothing different in Catholic University and Penn State when it comes. Football's football, man, and sports are sports, and that's good. That's
cool. And it's neat hearing the kids talk about the recruiting process. So the way this works, that we bring the kids in, they're kind of seated in bleachers facing the bleachers that are there in the gymnasium. So they have, the temporary metal bleachers set up for the student athletes, and then we bring the kids up one at a time with their families, and they come to a table and just announce where they have signed with, and most of them, thank their coaches, parents, and talk about why they chose the program they did. And it is impressive the number of programs who the kids are like, yeah, man, I was blown away by the culture there. I was blown away by the competitive aspect, the academic programs, all of the different things that factor into
facilities, the campus, the students, the education.
And it always impresses me the variety of sports. And part of it is obviously a school the size of State College has opportunities to compete in swimming and diving. A lot of the gymnasts are competing not for the high school, but at the high school level. They have a couple of gymnasts that I did not realize the credentials are out of this world, and they're going to prestigious programs.
Both.
Yep, both.
Okay.
Very, very impressive. But again, wide variety of sports. But what is just remarkable is the number of students who are, and I think this is probably true across the board with most student athletes that are achieving at that level. The academic accomplishments of these kids is crazy impressive by and large. And which gets me to another point, though, because you don't need to be it is phenomenal, and it should be celebrated, those kids. Yep. I also, there was a piece, I think it was David Brooks in the Atlantic, and this is going back a few months. But over the winter, he published a piece about the gist of it was that the Ivy Leagues are, I forget, I want to say he said, have broken the school system or childhood or something along those effects. And I'm kind of two minds on it because I understand where he's coming from. And the point of his article basically was that we are, and you see it at State College School District is ultra competitive. I mean, we're seeing it. Our kiddo's 9, and it's like, I mean, people are already doing the comparisons. Well, what programs are you in here? It's like we're just
academic stuff.
Academic, athletic, social, you name it. STEM related stuff. You name something out there, and it's like, well, my kids accomplished this, Mike, and that is fantastic. I'm not in any way begrudging anybody having success in a wide variety of fields. It is terrific that if the kid is getting a D1 scholarship, is an honor roll student, is out there as an entrepreneur, creating their own business opportunity, all of that is great. It is also okay. And this was kind of the point of the David Brooks article. I'll have to see if I can print that out and bring it in. But it was, we're getting so, some parents are getting so competitive, and kids, I mean, I don't want to say it's just the parents that are driving the kids, because there are kids that are just self-motivated, but also you got to be able to be a kid. It's like not have to go out and achieve everything at every level or at the highest level on every front. Like every now and then it's okay. Hey, I'm just going to ride my bike. Well, you're going to ride your bike and beat the other kids in there? Nope. Just going to ride my bike and see where I end up and use some imagination and pretend I'm a superhero for a day and pretend that I'm a major league player without anybody else being around, just throwing the ball up, bouncing the ball off the side of the house, whatever it may be. Like there is still a place for that, and needs to be a place for that in our society. And I agree with it. I agree with the basic sentiment of Brooks' article. And his point was it really becomes about getting to the Ivy Leagues. And now I've never been, so I wouldn't know, but he's like, yeah, and then once they get there, they're the same schmucks that everybody else is on all of the other campuses, but now you're part of the exclusive club, and it does open up networking opportunities and all of that, but there's actually no benefit, no great benefit like, it's not you're being taught something that's just out of this world better than what the other universities and professors are teaching. It's that, all right, you have the accreditation now of an Ivy League education behind you. And to get there, though, it is all about just resume building. And it's like, all right, obviously high GPA, being involved in different activities. And he's like, it is okay to not be involved in 20 different activities and to just have some days where, yeah, you're going home and you're being a kid. And again, I'm of two minds, because I'm meeting these kids last night. A couple of them I knew already, but most of them I'm reading through the accomplishments, and I'm watching the way they're conducting themselves. I'm watching the interaction with the families, and I'm like, man, this is amazing. Like, these kids are achieving more by 18
maturity
than as we talked about the other day.
Coddled, and they're also I don't know. You know what I mean? They
I don't know. I don't know that that's the case. You may be right. I don't know that that's the case.
There's a big difference in where I'm from and then to here is there's really no option for other than State College High for academics and athletics. There's St. John's, but they don't have football.
St. Joe's, yeah.
St. Joe's, sorry, yeah, but they don't have that. They don't have all the sports and stuff like that. So, like, where I'm from, it's almost in like 7th and 8th grade. You got to figure, like, your mom and dad are figuring out this kid's pretty smart. He may want to go to one of the prep schools, or he may want to go here, or, this or that, or he's just put him in a public school and go from there. But they are. I've had a conversation or two recently with a couple high school kids, and I'm just looking back. I see kids, Ironhead, like my friends' kids, they're like 15. And I'm looking at my friend, and I'm like, dude, remember what the hell we were doing at 15? And there's no way these kids are doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know if we just grew up quicker back in the day, but at 15, I was doing some stuff I shouldn't have been doing. And, definitely should not have been doing, but I got away with it, and, no one got hurt or whatever, whatnot. But I see 15-year-olds now, and I'm like, I just don't see those kids hanging out in the woods drinking a keg of beer with 40 people. And
yeah,
you know what I mean? Now, with that said, the kids are actually more mature, and they understand, they understand at a young age that, like, if they want to be a Ivy League kid, they have to get this. They have to get this course. They have to have this GPA. They have to have the SAT. They have to have the extracurricular is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So they have to have all of that, and it's crazy. So it's funny that I talked to a buddy of mine whose kids go to Penn State, and they're from LaSalle. The father wasn't, but he was like, he's going to apply here. He'll get in. And I'm like, how the hell you know he's going to get in? He's like, because there's a certain threshold of the numbers that the people know that you have these numbers, you're going to get admitted to that school.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there thinking, wow, that's pretty aggressive. And also smart that they realize you have to have this. And if a kid wants to go to Penn State, Maine for 4 years, this is what you got to have.
Yeah. Again, it just reading through the accolades of
47.
I'm
going to have to find out what LaSalle, but I'm sorry, I cut you off there.
No, that's good.
So you said 550. That blew my mind. You got girls. Like LaSalle's 350 and boys.
Yeah.
So now I'm putting it together. Like, wow, it's not that. I mean, 550 is not that big.
Yeah, they might be over 600. 550 is
so now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, well, if there's 350 kids at LaSalle in a class, that's 700 if there was women, girls involved. Yep. So I got you.
Yeah, and again, the caliber of coaches and the people involved there is just it is pretty special. And they had some of the coaches have earned state and actual, in one case, national recognition, and so they honored them last night as well. It was just a neat event, but the takeaway for me is just how impressive these kids are, just as a whole. And yeah, it's the maturity. Like they have a clear.
They have an understanding of what they need to do.
Yeah, and I think an understanding of how to balance things.
More so than me and you.
By a mile. By a mile.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And it just was, I don't know, it was impressive to be around and to see the interaction again with the kids, with each other, and then with their coaches and families, and I think genuine gratitude that they had and recognized for the opportunity.
Pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah,
again, it's not just the star Division I guys getting that treatment. It's guys are going to smaller schools that are getting that treatment, and that's cool. And girls, I'm sorry.
No, and the values, the values that that they have instilled in them and that they're seeking. It's just. It was an inspiring evening. I'll put it that way. It was very, very comforting to know the future lies in large part in the hands of these kids. Again, the other takeaway for me is each year I've done it, I'm like, every year I'm blown away. I'm like, one of these years they got to all right. I mean, they're doing okay. 26. But it's not even the number. I mean, the numbers are amazing, but it really is just the way the kids come across. And again, reading through the accolades, the athletic accomplishments are certainly impressive and some just mind-blowing, but much more to me, it's the number of kids that were giving back to the community, the Unified Bocce Team members, the National Honor Society, all of the things that they were listing that as accomplishments that they were taking pride in, and the overwhelming majority of them had some pretty impressive academic credentials as part of that, and several had some pretty impressive giving back to the community elements too. I guess you'd call it their resume that we were reading off last night's event. Again, Bald Eagle area softball coming up at 3:00 this afternoon. Norman Todd Brown will have the call, so we are going to be wrapping up our show at 3 today, and then we'll head to Du Bois for that matchup. Winner of today's game will play on Monday in the state semifinals, and then with a win there, potentially Bald Eagle area could be playing for a PIAA state title a week from tomorrow.
So how about St. Mary's being in Dubois, being 20 minutes or half hour from the actual town of St. Mary's? Obviously, St. Mary's and Du Bois is a Catholic school.
Yeah, St. Mary's is not far from Du Bois. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what you said. You said I thought you said it was, or they're playing.
St. Mary's is playing Bald Eagle area at Du Bois today.
Okay, so it is St. Mary's from the city of St. Mary's.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was St. Mary's of Du Bois, and I'm like, why the hell is there
no.
St. Mary's, and they're a half hour from St. Mary's, Pennsylvania.
Yes. St. Mary's will take on Bald Eagle area.
St. Mary's got a good little, like, just over the years and just, being in this business and, just watching the softball titles and baseball titles over at Spike Stadium. St. Mary's has got a pretty good athletic program. They had a baseball team there a couple of years ago. For a small little town, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Bald Eagle area has had some pretty good success across the board here as well. And again, we'll wish the softball team the best of luck here this afternoon. Pirates Phillies this weekend, dear Goon.
I'm going, baby.
I'm excited about it as far as it goes, but it just is.
Pirates are hot.
Yeah, they have won in a row, and treading around 500 for a week plus.
23
here.
and 29.
So we will take that on the season.
Yeah.
No,
I think so.
23 and 29.
I think so.
No,
maybe
that would be
30
would be wonderful. They are. No, that is not right. They are, I think, 16 games under 500. 6 would be beautiful.
It's 39. So I was off by 10. So.
Yes, they
amongst other things that my eyes are going to. So just put it on the list.
Yeah, and now the Rockies are red hot, and now you're not.
I saw
as confident that the Pirates are not going to end up being the worst team in the National League.
Fastest to 50 losses in the history of the game.
Yep.
And then they swept the Marlins last night.
Yep. They hadn't won a series.
It was their first sweep since May of 2024.
Yeah, they hadn't won a series this weekend, this season, let alone get a sweep until the 3 game.
Well, they set the record for the 50, and then they get hot.
Sweep of the Marlins. Yeah, we'll see how that all plays out moving forward.
Yeah, so we are. I got tickets for Saturday afternoon.
Yeah,
I talked to the head, the deer head down there, Songs Day. He said that he has graduation in North Allegheny, so he's praying for no rain. And I said, well, the Phillies are in town; it ain't gonna rain.
Yeah,
how it works,
I'm worried about tomorrow night's graduation ceremonies around the area. We'll keep our fingers crossed for all involved. We'll take a timeout here. We are back with much more. It is our Thursday edition, but again, we will be wrapping things up here at 3, actually a little before 3, so that we can get to Todd and Norm at 3 for today's Bald Eagle area St. Mary's game at Duke. We're coming right back with more of the Goon and Ironhead show right here on Sports
May
Radio
means
98.
warmer weather, the official start of the summer season, and the month that we want to see ya in a Kia more than ever at Lion Country Kia.
Wanna see ya in a Kia.
Hurry into Lion Country Kia now and choose from 79 new Kias on the lot. Just in time for family vacations, check out the refreshed 2025 Kia Carnival MPV. Its new SUV-inspired styling, seats up to 8. Lion Country Kia has the 2025 Carnival and Carnival Hybrid with interest rates as low as 3.9% for 48 months through Kia Motor Finance. There's 4 gas models available and 8 hybrids available with up to a 33 combined MPG. Be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too at Lion Country Kia. And remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Make May the month that we see ya in a Kia. From Lion Country Kia, 1334 Dravilla Street, off Shiloh Road, behind Sam's Club, State College.
Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter. And I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Two of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again,
The Fox,
your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, The Fox, State College, the Goon and Ironhead.
And back here with one final segment. Again, we'll be wrapping up a little bit early this afternoon as we head to DuBois. Todd and Norm Brown will be standing by with the coverage of Bald Eagle area, taking on St. Mary's in the PIAA AAA quarterfinals of the state softball championships. Again, the winner of today's game will move on to the semifinals, which will be held on Monday afternoon or evening. So not a lot of time remaining today. Again, Phillies Pirates this weekend. The Bucks will wrap up. Actually, both teams are looking to win their series heading into the head-to-head matchup this weekend. Phillies and Blue Jays will be getting underway just after we go off the air here this afternoon, and the Pirates will wrap up their series tonight at PNC Park, 6:40 start time, 6:15 air time here on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox as the Buccos take on the Astros in the rubber game of that series. And again, the Phillies in Toronto to play the rubber game of that series with the Blue Jays this afternoon.
Did you see Riel Muto get hit last night?
I did not.
Okay. I'll pull it up so we can continue, but I'll show it to you. Very impressive. Very impressive.
Yeah.
Let's just say every man should not have that field, but he did. He took a foul tip to the junk.
Not sure I want to see it.
Yeah. It's
not sure.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
I know about that type of agony.
Yeah, but he, I don't know if he's playing today or not, but, you know, he,
no good.
No, it just
no
hurts
good.
to even look at. Right in the junk. So yeah, he's of all the Phillies right now. If we're going to talk about them, Riel Muto is the one that really has been a little down this year, a little bit. And you know, my brother-in-law was in town last night. He was like, I wouldn't be surprised if he might be on the trading block type of thing because they got a couple good minor league guys in there, and they don't need to pay the $30 million, and they can get value for them. And I was like, damn, that'd be horrible. But hey, it is what it is. It's a business. You got to go out and try and win titles. So
yeah, that would be interesting.
So all right, I'm going to the game Saturday.
Yeah,
and our seats are just in the stadium. I said, just give me the cheapest seat I could possibly find, even in the standing room only, because I'm going to go with one of the outside bars. You've been there enough, right? I could just there's chairs I could pull up to like a pub table and sit there and watch the game from the outfield. I heard.
Yeah,
I'm in. I got to make sure I got to get in there on time and make sure I get me a seat or two.
That
because I just know, because look at the price of the tickets and then the hotel rooms down there. I think half of Philadelphia is going to Pittsburgh this weekend. You have that going for you.
The atmosphere.
You're going to love it. It's going to
be for Philadelphia. Will be exciting.
A mutant fest in Pittsburgh of Philadelphia people. That's like every Pittsburgh person's dream.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it, buddy. It's going to be so great. Don't be disappointed, buddy.
Oh, I won't. I have no expectations going in, so I can't be disappointed.
So Alan's all scared, man. Alan, the sweep took care of him last time. So, and then I got to win one game out of this to win the season series and the series, and then the game bets. May have a couple beers on Alan in the next few weeks, there, buddy.
I suspect you will indeed.
Let's hope. So I know we talked about this on Tuesday.
I will not be rooting for that. I just so we're crystal clear on that, but
understood,
fully expecting it. One other thing I just wanted to touch on with the we're talking about how this past academic year for Penn State was at least among the most successful just across the sports programs when you look at the overall impact of the Penn State teams on the national stage. And we've been talking, Goon. The thing that I it's kind of like, which is, okay, like you've had scoring records each of the last two seasons. That's a good run. Now you got to come back, and I don't think they're going to. The thing about Penn State right now across the board is, and I get it, we got to see how it plays out. I'm not getting ahead of myself and saying next year will definitely be better. But here's the thing. Like, I think if you just go by program here, I think men's soccer will be better next year than it was this year. I'm not going to go through all of the programs, but I think women's soccer is just there every year, whether or not they get to the College Cup or
that point
win a national title. It's going to be unusual for them not to be certainly one of the final 16, if not one of the final 8 teams left standing each year. Like that's just where that program is right now. I think women's volleyball going to be hard to top last year, but they're going to be in the mix once again. They are now going to be, I think, for the foreseeable future, contenders. Now, again, Nebraska obviously has a great program. Pitt has a great program. There's a bunch of teams that are going to be in contention. Penn State's going to be one of them. Whether Penn State wins another national title, well, we'll find out. That's going to be the fun of it. But I think they're going to be right there in the mix. Won't be shocked if they win it. I think the two programs to me, Goon, and maybe a third, but I think the two that are going to build upon what were sensational seasons this past year is both hockey and men's lacrosse. And again, they both are coming off historically great seasons. But when you look at the momentum now of those programs, what they have returning in men's hockey, and again, we'll see. We're just kind of in the early stages here to see what happens in the offseason with men's lacrosse. But with the two, with the recruiting and with the transfer portal, like it's hard to see how that hockey team will take a step back in the upcoming season. I think Godowski's going to have that team again in contention. Once again, I think men's lacrosse very much in contention. Won't be surprised if either or both are able to take that next step. I think both the baseball and the softball program will take another step next season. I think men's volleyball is going to take a step forward from where it was this year. Men's gymnastics will be, as always, in the mix. I think women's gymnastics is continuing to come. It's getting better each season, building blocks along the way. And women's lacrosse, again, we'll wait and see how it shakes out. And then both basketball programs, I think, are doing some good things here on the recruiting front. I think the men's team in particular, I do think there's going to be some patience needed. I don't think they're going to come out like gangbusters and take the Big Ten by storm right out of the gate next year. But, man, are they laying the groundwork here for, again, not just success in another year or two, but trying to lay the groundwork for sustained success where, like these other programs that we're talking about, women's soccer, women's volleyball, men's hockey, women's hockey will be in the mix again next year, men's and women's lacrosse. That's what Mike Rhodes is laying the groundwork to do. Like he's not wanting Penn State to be, let's make a run and see if we can get into the NCAA tournament in a year or two. It's, we want to be in the tournament most years, and we want to be making a run more often than not in said tournament. And I think that's his vision for if he can make a serious run, Sweet 16, Elite 8, maybe even the higher along the way, all the better. But I think, again, trying to get sustained long-term success, which really just has never happened with Penn State men's basketball. I mean, Bruce Barkhill had it
some flashes
going pretty well, fairly consistently, but not on the national stage where, all right, year in and year out, there's Penn State in the NCAA tournament. That's just never happened.
No. I mean, I'm not calling you out here, but you're a little bit older than me. So
what?
Is this the golden age of Penn State athletics in your experience? With where the teams are all at right now, and they're all very, very competitive on the national scene and in the Big Ten.
I think you need to see how it plays out over the next couple of years. But yes, I mean, I think it feels like they're on that verge of doing that. And I mean, I've been saying this for a while, and then it just seems like Penn State keeps upping the overall caliber of coaches in the program. And I do think, like 10 years ago, man, this is a great across-the-board coaching situation that Penn State has, like a lot of elite coaches. But you start looking at it now, good. I mean, there are not, in the programs that draw the most interest, from a fan base, I would argue most of those programs have elite coaching now, either with the credentials that the coaches bring in or just with what you're seeing them accomplish in real time here over the last few seasons. Obviously, you start with Carol Sanderson, but I mean, I think, James Franklin, regardless of what a handful of fans want to say, sustained, consistent success. I mean, you cannot argue that the results have been really, really good, really, really consistently since he came in. And again, I still don't think he gets enough credit for that 2016 season. Just completely changed the paradigm of what people thought of Penn State football and how long it would take coming off of the sanctions.
You remember that game? That Minnesota game.
Oh, yeah.
It went to overtime. We scored late to get into overtime.
Yeah.
I mean, there were people, I was probably one of them saying he's got to go. If they're not going to win this, if they're going to go, because that's the year that they lost to Michigan by like 40 points. And it was just going down, but then he rescued it, and they got hot at the end of the year. And
again, they were down to their 15 linebackers.
It was.
I mean, it was. But anyways,
they were kicking guys out for targeting. Remember that? Worst call I ever saw.
Yes,
except for my hold call against Michigan. Same place though. It was in Ann Arbor. Imagine that.
Pretty bad. No doubt about that. But I think when you look at the potential here and the way that Penn State is progressing in all of these sports and doing it in a time where it is really difficult, I think, for any program to get itself on firm footing, because the entire athletic world at the collegiate level is just not on firm footing. Bucks will be ready when the Phils roll into the Berg on Friday. Oh, I hope you're right, Alan. Although I think Mother Nature may win out on Friday evening's game.
Really?
We'll see. Yeah, it's not looking promising. Actually, it's not looking especially promising Saturday either. But Friday,
they actually might play a day night then Sunday.
Is looking a little iffy anyway. So
they might
could.
Well, they're not going to do it Saturday because they can't play 4 o'clock and then later. I don't think they would. I think they try to do it Sunday. I think.
Yeah,
because this is their last game together.
Could end up being exactly that. We'll have to wait and find out together. It'll be a fun weekend as far as banter back and forth. It would be nice from the Pittsburgh perspective if you had a little more competitive team that had a little more offensive threat than what the Pirates do at the moment. But trending toward being a 500 team over the last week and a half here, so we'll take that.
They had 1 run last night, so they're not going to light the world on fire with hitting right now. So
fair, but still a ways to go here for the Pirates to get into any kind of contention discussion, and it's frustrating because it does feel like they are blowing that window of opportunity.
I don't know the guy's name off the top of my head who wrote a tweet yesterday, and he goes, "You know what? I don't feel sorry for a guy who's dating Livy Dunn, and he's about to make $500 million in the next." Oh, and he goes, "The Pirates." Here, the Pirates are making it work, and I do feel bad. He's going to be $500 million, beautiful girlfriend, beautiful future wife, all that stuff.
Yeah, but he deserves better fate.
Absolutely, he does.
His talent and efforts than what he's getting.
Do you know how hard it is for me to say and be congratulatory of a Pittsburgh Pirate, and to sit there and say that I actually watched the Pirates games when Skeens pitches because I like him that much. I just like him. He's a hell of a pitcher. I saw the pitch there, and it moved 4 different ways. And I'm like, how's he doing this? What is going on here?
Yeah, I will. His arsenal is.
How do you have a 99 mile an hour knuckleball? Pretty much the way this thing's moving sometimes.
Oh, it is. It's very impressive. And
Phillies dodged him.
Pirates are just going to blow that window of opportunity, is what it is becoming increasingly apparent that's going to occur. Was reading a couple of I'm just trying to pull up here the CBS Sports, because I really thought we were going to have a decision on this House NCAA case well before June. I mean I thought it would be before Memorial Day weekend.
It'll be Friday night about 4:45.
Well, there was a story. That's what I'm just trying to see. It was a combined effort here by 3 different writers with CBS Sports. I'm just going to read verbatim real quick. On April 7th, lawyers stood before Judge Claudia Wilkin for the final settlement hearing at the historic House versus NCAA case. Many arrived expecting Wilkin to accept the settlement's final approval and officially kick off the revenue sharing era of college athletics. Wilkin ultimately expressed a few qualms, most notably a transition period for roster limits. If those were resolved, she seemed optimistic that she would rubber stamp the settlement. Basically, she said, I think it's a good settlement. Don't quote me. I think it's worth pursuing. And I think some of these things can be fixed if people try to fix them. And again, that was on April 7th. Most of the folks that were covering it, that I read anyway, are like, yeah, we'll have a decision for sure sometime in May. It might not be until closer to Memorial Day, but it could be before that. Well, again, we're sitting here now nearing the end of the first week of June, still without a resolution that has been approved. Back to the CBS article, even those intimately involved in the proceedings are at a loss. For instance, with the wait. Again, it's 2 months later, college athletics still waiting for a decision here from the judge. Big Ten Conference official telling CBS Sports they expected a resolution on May 20th. An ACC administrator thought Friday, May 30th. An NCAA executive checked his watch during a conversation with CBS Sports because Wilkin has released multiple decisions on Friday evening, says he said. A few lawyers involved in the case have a betting pool guessing when it will finally drop. All are losers so far. Everybody had it before this date, and now again we still don't have an answer. Texas A&M athletic director Trev Alberts says there's a lot of angst, and you guys can probably feel it. It's at the commissioner level, the president's level, and the coaches level. And I just want to focus on the coaches for a moment because the roster cuts, and right now they are operating under the belief that the roster limits that were set forth are going to be in play. And again, right now that's what's there. Well, June 1st is when the proposal was to have them down. Now, because this hasn't been decided yet, I don't think teams actually need to be down, although I think some have made the decision, listen, we're going to get ahead of this. But it is putting, all of the folks in difficult positions and situations, but coaches in particular, you're trying to figure out who's going to be allowed to be on your roster, and we're in June here. Yeah. And we still don't have
I would be interested to see if it's 105 now, right? How many guys on a team that were walk-ons are being offered scholarships?
Yeah.
If that's how they're going to fill their coffers, or they're going to wait for the recruiting classes, I don't know. It's so up in the air. I mean, you're right. Everything. The other thing that's out there still too is Michigan. We've been waiting for this.
We've been
waiting for the cheating thing for how long now? It's just. Well, now I'm thinking about it. When were the sanctions announced for Penn State? The free agency. Yeah, was it June or July? It was June.
Yeah,
they punished that team that year. So it's just. I'm just interested to see. I know we got to go. So, go ahead.
We hope you have a great weekend. We will. Well, Goon will be back on Tuesday. I'll be back on Thursday, and until Tuesday's show, we hope you enjoy the weekend, folks. We hope that you are both good and safe.
May means warmer weather, the official start of the summer season, and the month that we want to see ya in a Kia more than ever at Lion Country Kia.
Wanna see ya in a Kia.
Hurry in into Lion Country Kia now and choose from 79 new Kias on the lot. Just in time for family vacations, check out the refreshed 2025 Kia Carnival MPV. Its new SUV-inspired styling, seats up to 8. Lion Country Kia has the 2025 Carnival and Carnival Hybrid with interest rates as low as 3.9% for 48 months through Kia Motor Finance. There's 4 gas models available and 8 hybrids available with up to a 33 combined MPG. Be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too at Lion Country Kia. And remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Make May the month that we see ya in a Kia. From Lion Country Kia, 1334 Dravilla Street, off Shiloh Road, behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
2 of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again,
The Fox,
your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, The Fox, State